Academy is here to empower our community, to empower our children, and to empower adults of African descent to be that leader, to achieve those goals, to achieve those dreams, to achieve that mission that you've been on via education. We recognize there's an education crisis among our people, not just in America, but across the globe. And the Uhuru Academy is on the scene, and we've been on the scene for the past 10 years, providing solutions, one African at a time, one community at a time. Now we're here. The Uhuru Academy online program has a global reach. We're working for youth from ages 8 all the way up to 18, 3rd grade all the way up to 12th grade. We're providing them with all of their core subjects, plus plenty of special subjects that they're not going to get anywhere else. Our unique model has influenced African-centered programs throughout the country. We've consulted with teams in Houston, Columbia, South Carolina, Florida, Detroit, and more on how to bring grassroots, low-cost, co-op-based education solutions into the Black community without asking for outside help. Our children are our responsibility. And by visiting the Uhuru Academy, that tells me that you have an inkling of understanding inside of you. Something's telling you, something inside of you is telling you that your baby deserves better. Well, you've come to the right place. Look around. Check out our programs and services. Our online full-time private school. With the COVID-19 crisis going on right now, that's a must. So many school districts, so many public school districts have dropped the ball. They are not prepared for distance learning. We've been doing it full-time for 4 years now. We're prepared for you. Not only do we have the full-time online program, we're closing out this summer with our summer school, our Uhuru Academy Online Summer School, session number 3, which begins August the 10th. So make sure you check that out before it's too late as well. You can also hit that UA Online tab at the top of the website and go down and scroll and hit tuition and fees to see other programs that we offer and the fees that go along with them. I guarantee you we're affordable. We do not let money get in the way. We also serve adults. We have an adult African history course that we offer for those of us who, if you're like me, you didn't learn anything about us in school, especially nothing before slavery, but we have an adult African history class to bring you up to speed as well. Our Operation Reconnect program, which is an accelerated high school diploma program for young adults, for youth and adults ages 16 and up. It's designed to reconnect those who have been disconnected from education, employment, and entrepreneurship opportunities. You definitely want to check out Operation Reconnect. But anyway, I'm not going to go into everything because the site is for that. So browse around. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to chat. You see the chat bot right here on the site. Don't hesitate to leave us a message. Drop your email. Join our email list so you can get updates as to what's going on with the Uhuru Academy. Hey, enjoy the website. All right. Hey, and share us. Let everybody know that a solution is here. All right. Thank you for visiting. Hope to talk to you soon. Peace. So, greetings.
All right. We have a special guest here. I wanted to bring you up. It was a surprise to Baba Amin. Before we bring him on, I wanted to bring our friend Tamar on. Do you have your camera? Can you cam up real quick?
Okay, wait. I got the mic on. Can I cam up? Wait. Okay,
there
the little person doesn't want to be in the cam, though.
I'm not little.
Okay. So listen, tell the little person to go on ahead and get in the camera. This is a person that actually attended your school, Baba Amin. She attended your school. Go ahead and talk about the Uhuru Academy and how it affected your life.
Yeah, I just want to take the moment to thank Baba Amin and his team for making the school, aka the Academy. Him and his team has been such a great influence on my learning and education. I am proud to be a scholar of him, even though I am not physically there. I just want to take the moment to thank him all so very much.
Oh my God. And without further ado, I want to bring Baba Amin to the stage.
Hey, Lilith.
Hi.
Lillian. Look, check this out.
Hi.
There's a hooroo.
Yeah.
No, you got bigger.
Okay.
He's struggling with a little cough right now. But when I saw
I
you, I'm
see.
like, come here, hooroo. Say what's up to Lillian.
Hi, Lillian.
Wow. Hey, Tamar, great to see y'all.
Greetings. Yes, we had to jump on and just give our thanks and give you the flowers and all the things.
Oh,
We've had a long upward and downward struggle with the school situation, but she started a hooroo when she was 3, the physical campus at the South Carolina campus.
Mhm.
Absolutely phenomenal program.
I
I
say.
mean, so transformative and shaping for her. So
Yes.
now she's 11, almost 12. She's in 6th grade. Before this, she attended online for some time, and that was great to prepare us to go into the public school system. It gave her like more to stand on in
Right.
terms of confidence
Right.
and just overall self-awareness. She was able to sharpen up on some skills that were kind of lacking in terms of the math, sciences, and even some of her social skills. She was able to connect and make friends in the online program as well. So now fast forward, here we are in a public school in Washington State.
Okay.
And you know, we don't love it, but we're getting through it. But again, thanks to the Uhuru Academy for just helping so much for us to be able to go into these spaces and still take the principles that she learned when she was 3 and still be able to stand on, you know, everything that she has that she got from there and keep those keys with her. She'll probably have those keys and some of those skill sets well into like, you know, college probably.
Right.
But
Right.
it was phenomenal and we are just so thankful, right?
Well, thank
Right.
you. Thank you. And Lillian is such a gifted human being, you know, and we have a saying, once Uhuru Academy, always Uhuru Academy, you know, and so our doors are always open. And we are super proud of you, Lillian. If you need anything, if y'all need anything, just let us know. I'm super proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm gonna make sure that I'll let y'all know about any online programs, anything we have going on. I would love for you to come be a part of it, Lillian. Are you still a great
Thank you so
artist?
much.
Are you still a great artist?
Duh.
Well, we have some other artists. You know what? I'm gonna get in touch with you, Miss Tamar. We have a project I think Lillian would love to be a part of.
That'll be great. She's currently animating with the bare minimums and she is making some really amazing work. Hopefully I'll be allowed to send you a link.
Okay, I know how
You can
artists
check it out.
always work. Right. They don't just let everybody see their stuff, see their work. So I feel that. She has not changed. I love it.
Man, so what do you
And
think?
thank you, Genesis. Thank you for the invite. We're
Man,
always happy to
what
support.
do you think of the surprise? Were you surprised?
Yes, I was. I was pleasantly surprised, you know, and I'm proud at the same time, you know. I mean, wow.
And
Wow.
listen
You
to
know,
how well
when powerful, beautiful people speak up for our work, you know, it just makes me feel good. You know, it just makes me feel great and humble. And I love it. Thank you for that.
man, listen, at the end of the day, like I really feel like you're doing a great work for the community and I really wanted to like give you your flowers now and just even by this family right here, Tamar Cam back up again, show her beautiful face again. I want to put her on the mega screen. Show
Okay,
her.
she's gone. She left.
Oh,
But Lillian, can we get you one more time?
I want to show her face, and I want her once.
Can we get you one more time, please, ma'am? You mind? Can you come here?
They, you know what? They get older, and they be like, "Man,
Yes.
listen, I want to show how beautiful you are. I want to say how well spoken you are, and such a beautiful child. You're amazing, and you keep on doing your artwork and everything. So, once again, give a shout out to Uhuru Academy, Lillian.
Can you give one more shout out? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so, all right, so, all right, so. I wanted to like, you know, just ask some questions. You know, I found out about your academy when I moved to Dallas, Texas.
Mhm.
And you know, what happened is that when I moved there, you guys were not even in a building, I don't think. I think you were in a house.
Yeah, we're probably in our little
And
schoolhouse in the hood.
you guys had like a little schoolhouse in the hood, and
Right.
people were like, you know what, if you want to like get your, my daughter is autistic, and I was really like trying to find a good environment to bring her to, and I had spent almost $22,000 in trying to get her educated. But by the time I was ready to like try to like get your program, you guys were already in Fort Worth and then moving to South Carolina. So
Houston first, Houston, and then South Carolina.
oh, okay. So you went to Houston and then South
Yeah.
Carolina. But I had heard so many rave reviews about your program. Tell us about what your beginnings, how you started, and like what was the inspiration behind the Uhuru Academy.
No problem. No problem at all. No problem at all. And I might have to put these glasses back on in a minute, but I'm okay right now. It's an honor to be here. Number one, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come on and speak about our program, and I also want to thank all the love that we're already getting in the comments, and I want to thank Miss Tamar and the beautiful young Lillian for the testimony. Uhuru Academy was originally founded in 2010 in Fort Worth, Texas, by myself and my beautiful wife in Koyo, Ojuwoke. I want to shout out to in Koyo as well. The inspiration behind the Uhuru Academy is a vision that came to me just as a culmination of having worked with young people in Fort Worth since the early 90s. I began work with young people back in 91, 92, but in a very unconventional way. I began by helping to start a rites of passage program in Butler Housing, which at that time was the biggest so-called housing projects in Fort Worth. And I learned how to teach there. I cut my teeth in the hood, and just combining that with studying knowledge of self, seeking righteousness as a man, and just being engaged with young people, being engaged in fighting for our youth. The Uhuru Academy was the culmination of all of that. We began by having Uhuru camps. We would partner with Black-owned businesses like the Doc Bookshop in Fort Worth, and we would host Uhuru camps, like 1 week Black History camps. And the babies would come, and they started calling the camp school. Like, are we gonna have school this summer? Are we gonna have school this spring break? And I'd already visualized the school. The school had already come to me in a vision. I wrote it down on paper. The Uhuru Academy existed on paper. One day I just told my wife, I said, it's time. It's time to go for it. We didn't have any funding. We didn't have any grants. I had great relationships in the community, and then I just had a heart for the work. And we went for it. We founded the school. We both had jobs. I left my job, started the Uhuru Academy in the back of an alternative school. And then a few months later, my wife like, nah, let me get some of that. So she decided to leave her job too. So here we are, married with at the time 5 children, and we both left our jobs to pursue this mission. And we understood, hey, if we don't hustle, we don't eat. And I'll just tell you, the Creator has been great to us. The ancestors have been great to us, and the community has been great to us ever since we started. And here we are 14 years later.
Wow. So like name some of the well-known people that you have taught through your academy.
Okay. Well, as far as taught, we've influenced a lot of adults. We've influenced a lot of activists. We've influenced a lot of people in the RBG movement, for example. As far as young people, we started in 2010, and we've had young people to go on and go into the hemp business. We've had people, the legal hemp business. We've had young people to come out and go into real estate, start their own businesses. As far as famous folk, I don't know about a bunch of really famous people, but we've graduated some really good people. We've had our graduates to go on to college as well. And then, of course, like I said, we was very impactful with the RBG movement. We've been very impactful and partnered with other people. We've had all kind of guests at our school from the Shechem from the Komet Osar Aset Society. We've had Brother Nuri Muhammad at the Uhuru Academy. We've had Umar's been to the Uhuru Academy. We've had quite a few to come through. Even Charleston White has been a monthly contributor to the Uhuru Academy, and so and he actually counts me as one of his mentors. So quite a few people have come through, and like we say, once Uhuru, always Uhuru, but we've had the honor of reaching and teaching hundreds, if not thousands, of young people since 2010. And right now, through our online program, we not only have students throughout the United States, we have students in Africa as well.
Wow. So you have students in Africa. Oh, so now you've gone.
And teachers.
Okay. Wow. So do you have a school in Africa, or are you mainly online?
Online. So what happened? We closed our physical doors in Fort Worth around 2016. We did at that time because we had the opportunity to help other communities establish schools. The first was Houston with Miss Ashley Prince, the daughter of Jay Prince. We actually partnered with the Prince family, and we relocated to Houston, and we helped them found the Prince Circle of Legends Academy in Fifth Ward. And which was the first African Center school in Fifth Ward, which was a phenomenal experience. When we did that, I took my program online, so my Fort Worth students wouldn't miss anything. But then I also realized at the time, hey, that means we're global now. Once we're online, anybody with an internet connection can enroll in Uhuru Academy. So people who didn't have African Center programs in their city, but now there's an online experience that we curated that you could be a part of. So we went online in 2015 initially, and then full online around 2017 when we moved to Houston. From Houston, we relocated to Columbia, South Carolina, where we are right now, where we had been training the Washington family here in Columbia since 2014 on the Uhuru Academy model, and helped them establish Uhuru Academy, South Carolina in 2014. They just finished their 10th year. We moved out here in 2018 because they purchased a new 4-acre campus right here in Hopkins, South Carolina. We relocated to help develop the campus, and that's where we've been for the past 5 years. But during that whole time, we've had our K through 12 program online, our Operation Reconnect adult education program online as well. So we've been busy.
So how has this online it looks like you have a full audience right here.
Oh,
A
yeah.
full class.
Yes. And that particular clip is actually from our UACI STEM camp. UACI stands for Uhuru Academy Conscious Ingenuity. It's a partnership between the Uhuru Academy and Conscious Ingenuity, which is founded by Dr. Oya Mayat, who's a great podcaster in her own right, but also an engineering professor at Morgan State University. So we partner with Dr. Mayat and with the Cybersecurity Assurance Policy Center at Morgan State which sponsored the camp, to bring the UACI STEM camp. Students come online from all over the country, and they learn African history, the African history in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And then they learn actual science, technology, engineering, and math skills. So they go from the African history class to the coding class. They learn AI. They learn the basics of cybersecurity. And it's live, it's interactive, nothing pre-recorded. And we just finished our 3rd full year. We got a winter camp coming up, and this camp is on fire. We've had studies done on this camp. We've had papers published about this camp, and the results. Students are coming away saying they want to go into engineering. They want STEM skills. They didn't realize how much they love STEM. And so this is a groundbreaking program that we're proud to be a part of right now.
That is so great. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
This is Miss Sugar.
Hey, Miss Sugar.
Oh my goodness, this is like so good to hear, because you have had a lot of people talking about it, but nobody has really done anything, right? and to hear all. Now, I just want to ask, is your school accredited?
Okay, so
as far as the integration, if they wanted to go into can they take the credits or the grade or whatever with them? How does that go?
Okay, so the quick answer to your question about taking their grades and credits is yes. We've had students come into the Uhuru Academy and go back into public school or to another private school when necessary, and we have no problems with the transferring of credits. As a matter of fact, we've had students that come to us behind and they go back in ahead. You understand what I'm saying? And so we've been a very valuable tool, especially for homeschooling parents and parents who need to put some confidence in their children. Right now, as far as accreditation is concerned, we're private school. Right. And so the state doesn't accredit us. You can't accredit. Matter of fact, they're not even qualified to accredit us. Right. And plus, accreditation is not required when going from a K-12 to K-12. When you start dealing with accreditation, that's more of a college thing than a K through 12 thing. When K-12 programs say they're accredited, they're just saying that we've had an outside entity come in to verify that we do what we say we do, that we do what we say that we do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I just wanted to make sure, like, right, because if somebody's in, let's say, first grade, second grade, there, they could, when they go into a work, they will go into third grade.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
is beautiful. That is
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
That is beautiful.
For example, Miss Tamar was just on. Lillian was in
I
our
see
program, and she went from our program into public school, and it was seamless.
But what made you? Even though you probably said it already, but what made you say, what was you looking at the educational system? Did you see where we were lacking as in Black people?
Yes.
And to make you say, you know what, I think I want to start the school now. Did you go to school to become how did you was able to teach and stuff? Are you a teacher in real life and transfer?
No.
How did that take place?
I am a teacher in real life, like not a certified teacher, no. But like I took an unconventional route, y'all. I learned how to teach in the hood. I learned how to teach from math teachers. I learned how to teach from PhDs who were starting independent programs in our communities in the 90s. And so I came into education teaching the students that everybody else was throwing away. But I was very serious about education. So I studied teaching techniques. I practice teaching techniques. I read the papers and the studies. And so I'm a passionate teacher, but college couldn't hold me. I needed application. Right. And I think God did it that way because I was going to break all the rules.
You sound like me.
One thing about when you get trained, sometimes training will put you in a box that you do not know how to get out of. But when you come in, I came into education like this, all of this was wet clay for me. And so looking at working with young people, I've worked in the juvenile detention centers. I've worked with gang intervention. I've worked with job development with young people. So I've worked in several programs leading up to the Uhuru Academy, and everything was just putting a Band-Aid on the bullet wound. Nothing was dealing with it, and everybody was scared to teach our children our history unapologetically. And you're not allowed to do that in public school. It's a Jim Crow law that still exists today. It's an unwritten law. You do not teach Black history prior to slavery in public school.
Now,
go ahead.
Now with the STEM, what a lot of neighborhood children, depending on where they run from that, right? Because they're not even really taught that in school.
Right.
So how did you add that in and then get children interested in that?
We believe that if you give children ownership in what they learn, they'll excel at it. The reason why we run from things because we don't think it's a part of our culture. We run from math. That's for Asian students. We run from engineering. We don't think that's ours. But when we teach our children, engineering comes from you. Math comes from you. The world's first mathematicians were African people. You are math. Because you can dance to the beat, that's math. Everything about you is math. Everything about you is science. So we give them ownership of it. We don't teach them that the Greeks developed geometry because they didn't.
Tell it.
Our ancestors developed geometry. We teach our children our walk with the sciences, our walk with language, our walk with it. We don't teach it. We don't say something was discovered when Europeans got there.
Mm-hmm.
It's discovered when did we discover it for us? And so when you teach from that perspective, oh, our children jump right in. They jump right in like, oh, okay, you know what? This is tough for me, but I'm going to do this because my ancestors did this. We open every day. We don't pledge allegiance to the flag. We pledge allegiance to our ancestors, and we pull up a digital whiteboard, and we let our children post pictures of their ancestors, and we all go ashe to their ancestors every morning. So you shouting out the big mama before we even start class. Then we do creative writing, because before I teach you anything, I want to give you a voice. So once you empower our children, once you imbue them with who they are, they'll take care of the rest. It's really easy.
That is beautiful.
They take care of the rest.
Beautiful.
So here's a question too. So you see other people that have opened up schools or tried to open up schools, right? Like Umar. You said that you worked with Umar before, right?
Yeah, he came and spoke at the Uhuru Academy probably back in 2014.
Right. So the question is that what do you think some of the problems were with him opening up? Is it a matter of like trying to start off too big, or what do you think it might be?
Of course, I don't know the inner workings of his organization. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea as far as the details, right? Now, some of the difficulties that I understand that comes with this, right, is building from the ground up. Number one, you're selling something to the Black community that many of us don't even know we need, right? And when you visualize doing something, is one thing. When it's in front of you, that plate in front of you, and it's time to eat, that's another thing. And that's where all the details come in. And a lot of people say the devil's in the details. I say the divinity is in the details, because that's where you find God at. That's where you find out if this is your mission, if this is your passion. You see what I'm saying? So if anything is stalled, it's in the details somewhere. Whatever it is, it's in the details. It's something that needs to be paid attention to, that perhaps the scheduling, the team, or whatever is not able to pay attention to it in a timely fashion. So you have to keep pushing that date back. Right. And so what we did with the Uhuru Academy, we started with what we had, and we built on what we knew. Right. We prioritized delivering the service to the community over telling the community that we have the service, if that makes sense, right? Instead of just wearing the Uhuru Academy on my shirt, I live and breathe the Uhuru Academy every day. So that means I couldn't really be out here in front of the cameras, because I got to get up and teach tomorrow. I got to get up and do it. And when you're doing it every day, it's not pretty. It's not glamorous. Nobody's paying attention, and ain't nobody paying. And you got to figure out, how am I going to feed my family while I do this, right? And so I think one of the difficulties might be with someone who's like a public speaker. If I'm a professional public speaker, I have to travel to make my money. And so that may take away from being able to deal with the day-to-day as well. Right. With myself, shoot, I edited videos on the side. We had temple every week. I was ministering and pastoring and whatever I needed to do to bring in money on the side so I could keep it affordable and accessible to the community. That's what we did. But that model wasn't sustainable. Eventually, we had to get to the point to where, okay, this thing has to start paying the bills too. And we were able to do that. Once we established a name and a reputation based on our work, we were able to make other offerings to the community that brought in more revenue, So that's just what it is, man. I think a lot of times people don't think they scamming when they promise something. A lot of times when we say we're going to do something, we think we're going to do it. But we have to be careful about saying we're going to do it before we have the details. Because when the details hit you in the face, that's when the real, don't give a timeline until you really sat down and you looked at the details.
Are you familiar with Q Butter?
Yeah, Zyx, absolutely.
Yes. And how do you feel like that's similar to you, or or y'all on the same wing? Like, how do you feel about him? You know, he's down the block from
Right. No, I
by
love Q.
he's out here by me.
Yeah,
But
I
please
love
tell us
Q.
how you feel about okay.
Yeah, I
Me too.
love Q. I love Zyx. Zyx is STEM on steroids. You understand what I'm saying? And
Uh-huh.
and yes, and so I've had the honor, and Q don't mind me saying it. I have the honor of consulting with Q and being sort of a Jagna to Q Butter over the years as well. You know, one of the things about the African Center School community, y'all, we don't compete with each other. We help each other. Right.
Yes,
It's
love
enough
it.
black folks out here for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk down on what Dr. Umar Johnson's trying to do. I want him to open the school. We can. There's enough room. Let's open 1 million schools. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's
Yeah.
why I was saying maybe it's a matter of he's starting too big. Maybe
well,
he should have started small and then got big. You know what I'm saying?
hey, you know what? Time will tell, right? Time has
Yeah.
told, right? And so you know, me personally, what I've learned is that you don't build a school, you grow one. Every mighty oak was a
Yes.
seed.
Yes.
Every mighty oak starts as a seed. When Booker T. Washington founded Tuskegee, he didn't have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
land. They had one building, and the students had to build that. Right? So schools are grown. You grow a school. We're growing the Uhuru Academy. Our goal is for the Uhuru Academy to be here 100 years from now. So we're growing the Uhuru. The Uhuru Academy in 10 years won't look like the Uhuru Academy today, right? The Great Pyramid is 48 stories, Khufu's Pyramid, 48 stories high, 755 feet wide, took 2,300,000 stones to build. Each stone weighed 3 tons. They didn't build that in one day. It took over 60 years to build that structure.
Wow. How long have you guys been in existence right now?
Since 2010, since 2014, and we ain't missed
So,
one day of school.
wow. Man, so when you left Dallas, I mean, did you
It's
feel like you
crazy.
kind of left a void in Dallas? Like when you left Fort Worth, do you think it
No,
was a void? Okay.
no, I ain't gonna even lie. When I left Dallas, I felt when I left Fort Worth, you know, I'm from Fort Worth, so we like to distinct. Uh, when I left the DFW, I honestly felt like we had done a good enough work, and we're leaving some people, because you don't do anything alone. I didn't just do the Uhuru Academy by myself. You know, Lone Star RBG was right there with me, Supreme Ra, Ali Africa, you know what I'm saying, and others, my brother Bomani Ajamu, and you know, the Mohammeds and all that. So there are enough people in the community, I felt, when we left, to keep things going, to keep things moving. So no, when we made that move, that was for our family, for our legacy, and for our school. And I felt confident that DFW was gonna be okay. And plus, we still had students. We were still working with people, even though we wasn't there. And I'm still engaged. I'm still engaged in issues and topics in DFW to this day. So we left, but we still there.
I love the fact that when I showed that student and her mother, you knew her name.
I say,
Do you
yeah.
feel like there is like a disconnect when it comes to having like a public school system with 30 students kind of like being like kind of like ushered in and ushered out, where like you kind of like
Mhm.
lose track with the student?
Yeah.
You was able to like say, oh, okay, this is so and so, that's her mother,
Right.
so and so, oh,
Right.
she did art, oh, you're a great artist. Like, do you think it's important when it comes down to education?
When I saw it was Tamar and I saw it was Lillian, I just thank the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Certain students, I don't want to take nothing away from that child. She's special. All her teachers remember her. I guarantee you that. All right. All of Lillian's teachers remember. But yes, to answer your question, it's very important. But you know, public school is not for the public. Public school is not about our children. Public school, in a lot of ways, is a business. It's a political tool. It's a way to maintain classism. It's a way to reinforce racism. But it's not really about the development of Black children. That's not what it's about. Black children in public school are basically in a weeding out system. Some of you will be able to assimilate and become a part of the larger society. The vast majority of you will not. You will be a permanent working class. That's what's been designated to you. That's the type of education you're going to receive, especially if you're in an urban area. And that system is working wonders. You're going to feed our prison system, because in capitalism, you must have slavery. And so our prison system is nothing but slavery 2.0, right? And so they're preparing our children for that. Poverty and crime go hand in hand, because most people ain't going to sit back and starve. Most people will take your food before they starve. And so our children are put in that system. They're not put in the other public school system that's about developing the future leaders of this society. That's not the public school system our children are in. A select few are going to get through, but the vast majority are being earmarked for something else, right? And so with the Uhuru Academy, our whole thing was, no, our school is about developing global citizens out of our community that's going to have our community in mind, right? And we stand on the shoulders of other African-centered schools that have come before us and that are in existence alongside with us. That's what we're out here meaning to do. And people say, well, you don't got the funding. It's going to be tough. But our thing was, and my thing is, somebody has to start. Somebody has to make the sacrifice. If we finna fight, somebody got to throw a blow.
Right.
So if we don't fight for our children, somebody got. So I may end up being an example of what not to do. But I'm here to be an example.
So one of the biggest I'm gonna let you ask that after this. One of my biggest reasons for moving from Detroit, okay, 60% dropout rate when I moved from there in 2010.
Right.
I don't know if it's changed from them, but back then in Detroit, it was like, you pretty much can guarantee that, your child is going to go to the school and there's not going to be enough books and there's not going to be enough this. Right. They're going to be like learning in an environment with like lead paint and all type of stuff, peeling off the walls and all type of things. And so I decided to move to Dallas because I was like, my daughter will have a better chance at getting a better education. So the entire reason for me moving to Dallas was because I knew that in Detroit, with the high dropout rate the way it was, that she couldn't stand a test. And then I found out that she's autistic because I moved when she was 2.
Right.
And it's even more difficult, you know what I'm saying, because of the fact of autism and things like that. What is your take on autism and like neurodivergent, like when it comes down to ADHD, autism, things like that?
I think that number one, culture is always the best medicine. And the reason why I say that, we've had functionally autistic children in our program, even in our online program. And we would come in and we would look at the regimen that's already been, that mom and them have already put together. And we would complement that regimen with culturally relevant pedagogy. We complement that regimen with the high praise that we give all of our students each day. And we've watched autistic students, thrive, if nothing else, socially and with their confidence while still working on their academics, right? But really thriving and finding themselves as people, having a place where they're treated as if they are who they are, in a nurturing, culturally powerful environment. So a lot of times when it comes to what they call behavior disorders, the main missing piece is culture, right? Now, when you get into other disorders like your ADHD, that sort of thing, I don't say that these things don't exist, but culturally how they're dealt with is not healthy for us, right? You don't just throw people a pill. You know what? You have ADHD. You must take this medicine. And it's a trip that we don't call it dope because they call it medicine, but it's just dope. Put your baby on this dope. But at the same time, we're not getting to the root cause. How do we help your baby control all this energy that he has? Is that hyperactivity or is that hyper intelligence? We've had young people come into our program being diagnosed with all types of things. I remember when Rob Bay brought a dofo and his file was this thick and he had every disorder you could name. Well, she didn't put him on any medicine. She put him in a culturally relevant environment with men in the school that say, oh man, what you want to do? So let's go punch this punching bag, get some of that energy out. Let's do something to get that. Man, you hyper intelligent. Y'all, with him being with us within 2 months, we had to move him up 2 full grade levels because he wasn't hyperactive. He was hyper intelligent. You gave him that first grade stuff. He knew that when you said it, now he want to go do something else. But when your definition of the child is he's inferior, he's dark skinned, so hyper intelligence, him being a genius ain't even a possibility. He black. So that's not considered. He has a problem. He has an issue. Well, of course he has a problem and an issue. He's a black child. But when we see black children, we see natural genius. So the first thing that we do at the Uhuru Academy is try to tap into the genius.
Yeah. Now they say the public schools are designed not for our children to excel, but they're training them to work for others.
Right.
So it's like a control environment, right?
Absolutely.
Just so you can get to where you need to be, so to work for somebody else. So what would be some of the career things that y'all teach the children there so they can be their own, like do their own studies or be their own bosses, which is not offered in public school. They don't have them type of conversations at all.
Right. Well, you know, our first thing, and then I'll be remiss to not also point out as far as the behavior modification thing, that's a whole racket too. You know, that's a business deal between the pharmaceutical industry and the public school industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical deal where students are put on medicine and all of that. And so, you know, they slanging dope. But anyway, our approach at the Uhuru Academy is, number one, what's your vision? Vision development is a part of our curriculum. One of the first things that the students should ask when they come to school is, who am I? And then they need to ask, why am I here? We make sure our students understand, why are you in school? And don't say because your mama made you. Let's figure out why you're here. What type of pipeline are we building for you right now? Well, I want to be a pilot. Okay, well, guess what? Every day to us, you're a pilot. I want to be a doctor. Okay, well, I'm supposed to call you Dr. Sanique because you a doctor.
Love it. Love
right?
it.
Now I'm going to give you homework. You finna find out how much, where are flight schools at in your area? How much does it cost to go to flight school? How many flight hours do you have to have? How much do pilots make? You finna learn everything about a pilot. When we done with you, either gonna know you're gonna be a pilot, or now you know you don't want to be a pilot because you learned so much about it. You found out that ain't what you want to be. So now we're gonna go be something else. And so when you empower students with a vision where they're visualizing themselves, not only achieving the goal, but of visualizing themselves being in the process of achieving the goal. That's the difference between a dream and a vision, right? Then you get different outcomes. You get better outcomes, more confident outcomes. We teach our students that even when you work for somebody else, you're working for yourself. That's a partnership.
I try to tell them. That's right.
A partnership. You're partnering with Wendy's when you flipping that burger. You're partnering with McDonald's. You're partnering with FedEx. You're partnering with them. And what you make with them, you're taking that to invest in your own development.
So when it really comes down to like, okay, because I was like really getting into like the actual, when you were discussing like the pills that they make you take, yes. Did you kind of like, would you like say, okay, would allow them to kind of come in on the pills and then like wean them off after? So you say no pills.
Right.
No.
We would definitely let parents know. You know, we would offer parents methods on how to wean them off of the pills. We wouldn't call it medicine. We would say, you know, let's wean it off. Let's look at the baby's diet, because a lot of times too, it's the donuts in the morning. It ain't. They got hyperactivity. It's bad nutrition. There are so many other things, so many other factors. And then our other thing was too, if they're not receiving counseling, then we can't support you, you know, being a part of giving them medicine. So because the medicine is physical. But if you're having a behavior issue, that's spiritual, mental, and emotional. So what is the spiritual, mental, and emotional medicine that you're administering alongside this physical medicine? Because I don't need them to be calm for me. I know how to teach.
Wow.
I don't need them to get them how to listen. I don't need to get them how to listen. Never have.
So had you ever like dealt with like a parent that like was like, you know what, he's really extra, and you had to like deal with him on that level, and then had to like really convince that mother, like, listen, you come on now, because they're so used to that child being on that. Because
Right.
then they
Well-
come home from school, you know what I'm saying? Now they're probably
Mhm.
not getting
Right.
that what's it called, like that the thing that they need at school, and then they go back home. So the mother probably might want to say, I want to get this because he has to calm down, whatever.
Look, when they come to us, I'm speaking about us. I'm talking about Uhuru Academy, South Carolina. When they come to us, right, it's just different. The culture is different. The environment is different. They're around black people who strong looking black people who love them. So that boy that be cutting up at school around the white folks, them teachers that don't really want to be there, they come around and be like, what kind of people are these? I don't know if they're going to hug me or whoop me. They might do both. It's a different vibe. When they're around us, they like, oh, I'm around my mama and them. I'm around. It's a different reverence when they come around us. I remember when Oshun, Mama Oshun brought Kefri. Kefri, when I think he was the second grade at the time. He wasn't verbal. He wouldn't
Who's
speak.
Kefri?
Kefri is one of our former students. Well, once Uhuru Academy, always Uhuru Academy. This was while we were in Fort Worth. Kefri's probably about 14 now. He's on a high school football team and excelling, doing his thing, right? But when Kefri came to us, he wasn't verbal. He wouldn't speak. His mama brought him to us, and she was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He'll talk to me sometimes. He's not talking to nobody else. We just loved on Kefri. We educated Kefri. We put Kefri with everybody and lifted him up. And by the time the school year was in, we couldn't get Kefri. We couldn't get him to stop talking.
What?
We couldn't get him to stop talking. By the next year, he was doing PowerPoint presentations in front of the whole class.
Wow.
I'm telling you what I witnessed. I've witnessed a young man out here in South Carolina named Emmanuel. He came to Uhuru Academy on every behavioral drug you can think of. His mama decided to wean him off. She did her best to wean him off because when you take them off after having them on, they can have reactions.
Yeah.
Right. He had a couple of reactions. We was like, no, just kind of wean him off. But then he started coming to the Uhuru Academy. So now we're balancing it. So now, yeah, he was still taking some of that stuff, but then he came here and he was getting the mental and emotional support that he needed. And that's what got him off the medicine completely, right? He went from being earmarked to go to prison because he came to us in 7th grade. They were already looking for him to go to prison. He ended up graduating early from us, high school diploma at 16. Come to find that this young man could build anything. He could build an engine from scratch. He's a genius. A genius.
Wow.
A mechanical genius the whole time. Everyone knew he was, but nobody thought that was important. They weren't about, can he pass the state test? Damn, a state test if I can build a house from a foundation.
Right.
What I need a state test for?
So did you ever experience any like racism? Like when people like maybe leave your school or whatever, even in the system when you're trying to like do all this? Did you experience anything like crazy like that?
Not really. Like I come in and I carry RBG on my sleeve. I carry black. I can wear all white and everybody still know I'm pro-black. Right? It's just on me, right? But the way we represent, I get respect wherever I go. I demand respect wherever I go. You know what I'm saying? And so even our students, when our students leave our school and go back into public school, they already know the racism that's there, right? And now they know how to navigate through that, around that, and how to empower their peers to do the same thing, to fight it without destroying yourself. Because that's very important, right? We experience racism all the time because the system is racist within itself. Every Black child experiences racism every day. When you open up your textbook and you don't see you, that's racism. It ain't nothing. That's not a mistake. It's racism. When 60% of the children that are being suspended and expelled are Black, that's racism. It's not that all the Black kids are better than the white kids. That is not the truth. The Black children are defined as bad before they walk in the door. That's racism. When you put the Black teacher in the room with the Black kids because the Black teacher act hood, and they think, well, since she act hood, she can relate to them better, but they're not worried about whether or not she can actually teach math, that's racism.
Mm-hmm.
When they move the Black principal from the low performing school, as soon as he brings the school up, they move him to another school, that's racism, because low performing schools are cash cows to the school district. And when you turn a low performing school around, you messing with somebody's money.
Wait, say that again. Low performing schools are cash cows.
Low performing schools
Yeah.
are cash cows to the school district. Okay,
because you get the extra money because you put them in the. Well, I'll let him explain it. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example. I sat down with one Black teacher, one Black principal some years ago in Fort Worth, right? He had just been reassigned. Right. And I'm like, man, Mr. Washington, why they reassigning you? He say, I turned the school around. It's time for me to go, because I'm hurting their money. He said, brother, I got 96 students in special ed right now. 4 of them belong in there. The rest of them could be in regular population. But the enrollment doubles when you're designated learning disabled. When you're designated special ed, the enrollment money that you get from the state and the feds doubles. And when you got a population where nobody's gonna question whether or not, when our schools are failing, we're already pre-programmed to blame our Blackness for it. See, Black kids don't want to learn. See, it's just them parents. See, we're not questioning anything. So they can earmark our children for special ed, learning disabilities, drop them on pills, do all that stuff to them, turn the school into a cash cow. Then they writing grants. Look, we got this failing school. We need more federal monies. We need more cash cow. And then when the money comes in a lot of cities, the biggest slush fund is the school money, because ain't nobody questioning whether or not that little public school in Detroit got all that bond money.
You know what? I did used to work for the board, and then it was almost like all the kids, like I would say, like almost like hundreds of thousands of kids were labeled special education.
Yeah.
And that was
it's a racket. And then when I label you special ed, you don't count against the state test. So you may not be special ed, you just struggling with that test. We're not going to spend the resources we need to spend to get you ready for the test. We'll just label you special ed, learning disabled, so your score don't count.
And you cannot get your regular high school diploma.
Special ed is the roach motel.
Oh,
you check in, but you don't check out.
Wait.
I ain't never seen nobody get out.
Special education does not get a regular high school diploma?
No.
They don't?
No. They get a equivalency.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my daughter, even though she's taking like high school level classes, but she's considered special education, her diploma will not be a full high school diploma.
It will not be the same.
Ask. Things vary state by state, so you have to ask and be sure based on whatever program your daughter is in, right? But I'm gonna tell y'all something though.
She's taking like advanced classes and all type of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Without a vision and without knowledge of self, it don't matter what your diploma say. And I'm gonna tell you something else. A high school diploma is a smokescreen. Ain't no magic fairy dust on that high school diploma. That's just a hall pass to get you to the next level of education or to get you a job. If you live in Texas, especially, you can print a high school diploma out at your house. Texas is a homeschool state. If you live in Texas and your kid just ain't going to school, go down there, withdraw your child, check homeschool, and print them out a diploma and send their bus to the community college or to a trade school and keep it moving.
Yep.
It's perfectly legal.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you knew that, DJ.
No,
Yes.
I didn't know that. And here's the thing: is it? Let's discuss truancy laws, right?
Y'all,
So-
I didn't talk to the state about opening those. I've been graduating people since we founded the Uhuru Academy. I ain't asked nobody.
But I want to talk about this though, truancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have it now that if your child is 1 minute late, then they missed half of a day.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's like a law.
That's a money grab. They want to fine you. They want to be able to ticket you. They want to be able to label your child.
Yep.
The whole 9 yards. It's that's what it is. But if you in Texas and you got a chronic late child, I just withdraw mine and check homeschool. Now you're out of. You cannot get a truancy ticket if you're homeschooled. But that's if you can keep your baby in the house. Now, if you got one that's out here terrorizing the streets, send they butt somewhere.
Oh no! Like imagine a kid.
But if you got one that's gonna be in the house that ain't causing no trouble, but the school is trying to third party and label this and do all of that, save your child and save yourself some money, some time, and some grief, and take over your child's education. These people don't control you. You control these people. You don't belong to the government. They belong to us. That's what freedom is. The public school belongs to you. You don't belong to the public school. You don't owe them nothing. You already paid them with your tax dollars. They owe you.
So do you feel like
all
kids
of them is about money?
Might be missing out, even though they're homeschooled, on like choir and like all the like extracurricular things?
No, you can still
look. They got a choir at the church. If you really want to sing, go to church. Okay, they got choir. Everything in the school is somewhere in the community.
Yep.
And then you just got to balance it out. If it's just something in the school that they got to have, then you got to make it work the best way that you need to make it work. But if you want to take control of your child's education, if your child's sanity is number one, if your child's knowledge of self is number two, your child's vision, if your child is being bullied, if your child's being bullied by the system, other children, you have to think outside the box. And I'm going to tell you something. A school that's teaching them knowledge of self with 10 books is better than a school that don't teach them nothing about themselves with 5,000 computers. I put my students up against anybody else's students in a conversation. Look, you ain't never went and got a job and they ask you for your state test scores, ever. You ain't never sat down in the interview and they say, show me your report card. When you sit down, they want to know, do I want to sit down and do I want to talk to you every day? Do I want to see you every day? Do you know the skills for this job? That's what they want to know. And I'll put a Uhuru Academy students up. I'll put an Uhuru Academy student up against somebody who don't have knowledge of self, but made all A's and B's in public school any day of the week. Any day of the week.
So what I'm also learning is that from your academy is that there's students that are like high school and educational age, elementary, junior high age, but you also offer services for adults.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's get into that.
Okay. Yeah. So
wait. Before we get into the adults, right? I just want to ask, what is the parent participation in the program? Like, because it goes hand in hand. So
absolutely.
So what are they? Do they have to be just as hands-on as the child,
absolutely.
right?
It's a partnership.
So let us know about that, so the parents don't think I could just send my kids there thinking, okay, my kid is there, I ain't gotta do nothing. Like what? Right. So that's right. Let the parents know what they got to look forward to.
But you know what? It's a great experience for parents too, right? And we tell our parents this is a partnership. This is your school. I don't bring my ego to class. If you see something missing, I want you to tell me what you see, right? There's never been a semester of the Uhuru Academy since 2010 where we didn't have multiple parents that were also teachers in the school. So it's very interactive. It's very engaging. Our parents are very active parents. That's the only way it's going to be successful. You have to have that family buy-in, right? And so, like, when you go to our application on our website, we don't just want your name and address. We got a series of questions that we ask you on our application, just to let you know. Now, we gonna have some conversations when you come to the Uhuru Academy. Now, we've had some children that come into our school and then the parents are not engaged and we have a hard time reaching them. And those babies have excelled anyway while in the school. But where it hurts is that when it's not being reinforced away from the school, then it's like they're starting from scratch all the time.
And
So
then
parents have to be engaged,
and
right?
then
But
when you
parents, but
mention
y'all, when parents start learning about self, they act just like the children.
mhm. Now
We
is it
get the same
certain
confidence when
things
we get it when we grown.
depending on a child, there's certain things that, like you said, for them, if they wanted to have their own career, is a
Right.
certain thing like the parents may have to like go perch. Like, let's say I want to study the stars, so that parents have to go get like the telescopes, or like,
Right.
how does that go? Being that you say for each individual kid, so one want to be a doctor or whatever,
Right.
right? What, so the parents will have to go get that, or you, how does that go?
Well, you again, like it's individualized. So we share the children's vision with the parents, right?
Mhm.
We have those conversations, reinforcing, and we encourage parents to put pictures up in the room that reflect their vision.
Mhm.
Buy them things that reflect the vision. If he wants to code, here's a software that you can get for them to code. If they want to animate, there's a software that you can get for them to animate. But balance their screen time. Make sure they get outside and that sort of thing. So we coach our parents. We coach, and our parents coach each other. Let me introduce you to this parent who has, so the cool thing, one of the coolest things that we get to do as a school, we get to introduce families to one another, that reflect each other, that complement each other. So you
Oh,
have this
great.
entrepreneurial parent over here that's struggling, just open their business and they're struggling trying to figure it out. Well, here's an entrepreneurial parent who's been in business for 12 years. Let's introduce you. Let's link y'all up so y'all can compare notes. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of what
Beautiful.
we do is connecting the community together. There's nothing wrong with us that what's right with us can't fix. So we just try to match you with what's right with us, and it takes care of itself.
Beautiful.
How
Okay,
many parents
now,
are well, hold
uh,
on real quick. How many parents are single mothers? And how do you deal with that epidemic that you have a lot of single mothers in the house and they might have
mhm.
little boys, might not have a male counterpart,
Mhm.
and then you have to deal with those boy children. Like, how do you navigate that within your academy?
One of the things that we make sure we do, really with all of our boys, you know what I'm saying, is make sure that they feel a strong male presence that's there. While we have them, we want them to feel that they have that strong male presence. We want to talk to them about universal principles and values that come along with responsibility. We teach our children a man and a woman is just an adult, a person who acts, thinks, and lives responsibly, right? So what does that entail? And we deal with that with as far as single mothers. We've had mothers who are not married put their children in the school, put their boys in the school. And again, we just make sure that we're that strong male presence when that culture is there, right? The culture takes care of so much of that. As Africans, we believe in extended family. So when you come to Uhuru Academy or any African Center school, you're among your extended family. So now you have men in your life, right? If you don't have your biological father in your life, I'm in your life during this time. Let's link you with these other brothers that's in the community that's in your life during this time. We help families because, we're online. You might not be in the city with me, but I'm a RBG. I know some brothers everywhere, right? So let me link you with PLM if you're in Baltimore. Let me link you with Liberated Farms in Detroit. Let me link you with my brother Obafemi down in Arkansas. Let me link you with the Our Black Fathers Committee in Arizona. So we make it our point, our mission to make sure we can link our people with programs and with other people in their communities where they are. Even when we moved out to South Carolina, we was introducing people from South Carolina to people in South Carolina. So a part of our, we make it our business to find programs and find powerful, positive people wherever we go.
Beautiful.
And that's what
Beautiful.
we have to do as
Okay,
educators.
now we can go.
Mhm.
So now let's get to the adult section
Yes.
that
Yes.
DJ was talking about.
Right. So you're talking about our Operation Reconnect program. One of the things I noticed when, I work with young people, a lot of times the adults need help too. The big brothers, the uncles, they hadn't graduated from high school, right? And with Texas being a homeschool state, we looked at it and we said, you know what, we can start a private school. We're graduating to K-12. Let's graduate adults too, right? But we're not selling diplomas. So you have programs out. You can go buy a high school diploma. You can buy a private high school diploma from programs and go on somewhere with it, right? We didn't want to do that. We developed a program where adults signed up, but in order to graduate with an accelerated high school diploma, you had to pass an academic exam that we put together, that we created, and then you had to develop an essay on what you're going to do. What are your plans now that you're getting your diploma? And then you had to sit down with us to help make that plan a reality. If you don't do those things, you don't get the diploma. But once we do that, we reward our 25 and ups, adults 25 and up, with a Uhuru Academy High School diploma. But the diploma ain't really what you get. It's the plan. The plan is actually the jewel that you get with the Operation Reconnect program. The diploma is just that piece of paper that when you go up to TCC, Tarrant County College, and say, I got this piece of paper, boom. That's a piece of paper to take to the employer so you can get the promotion. You know what I'm saying? But the plan is where the gold, where the jewel is. Now, for people who stopped out of high school between the age of 16 and 24 that come to the Operation Reconnect program, they have to go through life skills training, career exploration, cultural awareness training. Then they have to put together a life plan presentation. And that's where they have to put a plan together on how you're going to take care of yourself mentally. What's your vision, your mental wellness, your mental health, and spiritual health? What you going to do with your physical health? How you going to eat? How you going to stay in shape? What are your career goals and how you're going to get there? Then what are your education goals and how you're going to get there? Not your dream, your plan. And then they work with a coach to put that plan together. And then they have to pass the test too. My theory is that someone that's only operating between the 8th and 10th grade academically, but have a plan on what they're going to do, is more prepared than somebody who can read on the 12th grade level and don't know what they're going to do.
Is it any job search after for them students? Is there any type of, do y'all do job search? Or
we do job readiness. We help them with the job search. We help them with their resumes, right? And so the whole career development, all of that is a part of the program as well.
So we have a question. Is the plan available in all states, or is this in the works? She just came into the chat.
Okay. So now we primarily offer it in Texas, but we will work with any student nationwide. But we let students know, and when we do it even with Texas, we let students know the plan is key, because everybody's not going to accept the private school high school diploma, right? So the plan is the key. Not every state, like we said, I'm gonna come to Operation Reconnect, then I'm gonna go and go to this private college over here. Well, what private college is this? And we need to see, because I've literally had to create relationships with colleges, with certain schools, in order to be able to send my transcripts to those schools. You understand what I'm saying?
But now, that's for the adult education. That's not for
schools that accept taxpayer dollars. They don't care. They have to take our diploma, right? And so we'll work with anybody anywhere, but we do make sure.
You definitely coming to New York. You definitely coming to New York, and we have to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the question.
Even though I'm down the block from Cuba, but we're gonna have to speak after this is over.
So the high schoolers, they shouldn't have a problem with entering college with your degree. It's more about the people that like are adults that just need like their GED type of thing. You have your own.
Right. And they really don't have much problem. I'm gonna tell you where the problem comes in, and it's a trip because we're at war with predatory schools, right? You have predatory schools like DeVry, Phoenix, University of Phoenix, Walden, and others that'll charge you $40,000 for a degree that you can get at your community college for $1,800. Right? Those schools don't recognize us, and we don't recognize them.
And you have to also remember too, not every kid wants to go into college. Some of them really need them life skills, right? Some of them really need, especially that connect part that you was talking about. That is so valuable. Not every kid want to go to college, and they need them life skills. Some of them can't read.
Yeah.
Some of them dropped out of high school or whatever. So that the life skills part, how you going to do this, how you going, and then being instructed around people in the culture, like he says, that care about them, because a lot of these kids are going through so much. I think that's so valuable. Right. But a lot of kids, they don't want to sit in the institutions, but they have to be productive citizens too. And like he said, they teach AI and they can show you like different programs and stuff. So that'll be things they can talk about in the life skill part of the section. Beautiful.
And we refer students to therapy too, like adults and youth, right? Like we refer students to the mental health piece is key, y'all. Like you say, they're going through so much, they're dealing with the trauma. So yeah, I'm in school, but that's not, it's like people say, you know, forget that your daddy in the penitentiary. Like that's not supposed to impact you. It's not supposed to impact you that you saw your friend get killed. It's not supposed to impact you. That impacts people, right? And our children, our people, we need, our job, our responsibility is to build safe spaces where we can deal with the trauma in healthy ways. So a part of what we try to do is to help people find healthy ways to deal with that. There was a great psychologist sister out of Fort Worth named Dr. Stouser Irvin. And we constantly refer people to Dr. Stouser. She does wonderful work with Black women and Black girls, using yoga and other alternative techniques to help young people deal with trauma, deal with grief, that sort of thing. A lot of what we do really ends up being what they call now social emotional learning, right? And so that's there, you know, and we're a big proponent of community college too. And a big part of our Operation Reconnect program is to steer people towards their community college. Community college is free. Your Pell Grant that you don't have to pay back will pay for your community college. In your first 2 years in college, you're not taking your major anyway, right? So go to the community college to figure it out. Also, community college has certification programs. I may just want my HVAC certification. That's all I want. Let me go get my HVAC. Let me go get my radiology degree that only takes 18 months. Let me go get my dental hygienist. Dental hygienists in some states make $80,000 to $90,000. 18 months, community college, dental hygienist. There are so many paths out here to success that we're not exposing our children to. And we're saying, well, if you don't graduate high school, you're going to end up dead or in jail. Damn, are those my only choices? We don't have anything else to hand to them. Little Timmy didn't graduate high school, but uncle hired him at his construction company. I tell my children, I don't care if you dumb as a box of rocks, you're going to be a vice president in my business because you're my child. It's our responsibility to catch the ones that fall through the crack. Ain't nobody else's responsibility. When we tell them you're going to be dead or in jail, we're saying we ain't got nothing for you. If that white man, that system can't help you, we ain't put nothing in place. A church on every corner, and you can't go to now one of them churches and learn how to do a resume. You can't go to now one. The church won't graduate you. Jesus can't print a high school diploma. Muhammad can't print a high school diploma. So they say your child is a failure, and you just believe it, and you won't build nothing in place to say, well, if y'all fail him, I'm gonna pass him. Well, you better not tell them people that you're gonna pass your own children. Why not? That's called freedom. Them other folks pull their children out of public school, left and right. They raising white kids in the basement. You ain't even seen them. Can't count to 15. As soon as they count to 12, they give them a degree and put them on the job. Y'all, everybody ain't following the rules. We the only ones trying to follow all these rules.
Wow. What?
We the only ones trying to follow all these rules with our children. You gotta go that way. If you don't do it that way, there's no other way. We ain't creative. How come it ain't? And you mad because all them want to be rappers and football players. All you show them. That's what they earmarked to do. Disappointed because your son ain't athletic. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. Damn, you ain't nothing. How about drone license? You can get a drone license. You can be a drone pilot at 13.
Right, and that's like more with technology now anyway, right?
It's so much. Y'all, it's so much out here that we can expose our children to if we just had the backbone to do it. If we stop thinking that massa got to give it to us first and we just give it to ourselves. I see black professionals all the time making white people businesses run, but won't run their own business. I was on a panel with a black PhD one time, and she was talking about all the doctors. And I said, have you ever put a program in the community yourself? Oh, shoot, no, I'm not going to. I said, well, I guess I must be dumb then, because I feel like if you're a doctor or something, then you don't need a boss. You got a master degree, you the master. I thought master owned the plantation.
What's your info? Also, Mel was asking, what state is that where you could get a drone license at 13? Is that like all the states or just one?
Yeah, well, I know in South Carolina, we have a program out here, and they start, you can start at 13. I know you can start the program at 13. You may get licensed by 16 because it takes a while. But yeah, and you start making money. Right. Wow. And really, if you learn how to use a drone, you can get paid to do, like, for example, in rural areas, right out here, they pay big money to drone pilots because it's the best way to get a picture of your land. There's so many opportunities out here, right? Cybersecurity certification. Our children should be graduating high school with certifications, not just with a high school diploma. That's dead. They need to be graduating high schools with Cisco certifications in networking, with entry-level networking, cybersecurity, that sort of thing. People are coming out with these certifications, y'all, and getting six-figure jobs at 18, 19 years old.
You know what? And you know what's even crazy about that is that they have a thing called UDEMY online where you can learn how to do AI stuff and all this stuff. It's free. But they want us to go through this high school to college pipeline where we get in debt. You go to college, like $100,000 a year education, and half the educations that you get in college, you're not even using, and they're like working at McDonald's or like a Lyft driver.
But see, the thing is too, when exposing our children to these other things, we got to stop treating it like, well, since you can't do that, I guess you gonna do this. Well, hell, that make me feel like I'm stupid for coming to community college. We got to get out of that thinking like, my son go to Prairie View. When my daughter, she going to TCC, she all right. Man, what's they playing? Ain't nothing wrong with going to TCC. Matter of fact, she the smart one.
Exactly.
She's not
free education.
Right.
She's not fixing to be in debt.
Yeah, she the smart one.
Exactly. And the school don't make you smart.
Yeah,
the teacher makes you smart.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? Plumbers make Plumbers make hella money.
Oh my
Electricians.
God. Are you serious?
As a
Look,
homeowner, I'm like, I'm
look,
learning. I'm
come
like,
on.
dude, bro. And
Master
I like,
electricians,
yeah.
plumbers. I
uh,
have parents. I have parents at the Uhuru Academy who are traveling nurses doing very well. Right? Right? I've had master plumbers. We've run into master electricians. They do very well. People who are in the transportation business doing very well. We even got what's that? Daddy Butter, daddybutter.com. He sell body butters and is a multi-millionaire doing very well with an online business.
but let me ask you. So I'm quite sure y'all teach business classes
Mhm.
or business, like to learn, taxes and stuff like
Mhm.
that, the business, because they don't teach that neither. And you have
No.
to, even if you go to college to learn that, it takes you till you get into your third or fourth year just to start what to college for.
Right. Right.
So how is that curriculum going? Because they have to learn how to use money and
Mhm.
how to go for to go, but it's a lot of
Right.
different things and
Right.
starting a business.
Yeah, we've actually used Dr. Boyce Watkins Business School
Uh-huh.
in his curriculum in our school. We do entrepreneurship workshops. We do entrepreneurship projects. Right now, we're partnering
Mm.
with a new African Center school. I told y'all we don't compete, we work together. There's a new African Center school that started this year in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, called Village Life Academy. They have an
Mhm.
elementary school entrepreneurship program called The Stand, where students learn entrepreneurship while actually putting together a lemonade stand business, right?
Oh,
Excellent curriculum, right? And so,
yes.
yes, excellent curriculum. So they're getting it third grade, fourth grade, learning how to start own and operate their own business. A lot of the programs we've developed, we do them in and out because our staff is still limited. Y'all, we offer a lot, but we offer a lot in a compact space because we still don't have the funding that we need.
Mm-hmm.
We're still growing our program, but we focus on quality over quantity, right? So different parts of our curriculum are in the curriculum at certain times. We work it in. Our goal, though, is to have a dedicated business professors and business teachers, dedicated science teachers, one person teaching one class, quality over quantity. Right now, our teachers teach multiple classes. So
Is
we're
it
still growing our
possible?
program. Hmm?
Is it possible? Because that, like, you have some organizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that y'all like can, like, let's say I'm an organization, right? And I
Right.
wanted to bring kids there. Do y'all have it to whereas people can like get their children grants? Can they write out a grant so they can have kids come to the pro? Do y'all deal with
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
like that?
Yes, we deal with we again like with our STEM
And do
camp.
y'all
You know,
show them? Do y'all
yeah.
show them how to get to? Because I mean,
Well,
in a
well,
lot of
and now
places,
we don't have the manpower. We do,
no,
but
they
we
can
really
write the
can't.
grant themselves.
No, I'm talking
That's
about as
the
far as the training part. I'm talking about as far as showing them. You asked about showing
no,
them.
not showing them. Do y'all accept it? The people, the
Oh yeah,
organization should know how to
absolutely.
do that,
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. We've had people who's pastors. We've had churches come in and sponsor tuition for children. We've had
Mm-hmm.
we've had organizations come in and sponsor scholarships for children. We have a licensed 501c3. So we have a nonprofit status. So we accept donations and donations go towards scholarships and
Mm-hmm.
making it happen. So yeah, we absolutely do work with organizations to bring students in. Our STEM camp this summer was fully sponsored by the CAP Center, the Cybersecurity Assurance and Policy Center at Morgan State University. Shout out to Dr. Kevin Cornegay. They sponsored us to the tune of $25,000. We were able to offer our STEM camp this summer completely free.
Oh, that's
I have a
beautiful.
question. So this sounds a lot like, in Judaism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Jewish kids don't go to public school.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the school for them, right?
Right.
And then they graduate that school and they learn the spirituality, they learn you know, all those different things,
Mhm.
and that's accepted, right? So,
Mhm.
and I remember living in like on off of Hillcrest in Dallas, Texas, and all those kids went to a Jewish school,
Right.
and they all learned those things, and they didn't go to public school.
Mhm.
Do you think it's more valuable for a child to like learn or go to a private school that is African based
Mhm.
versus like a public school that is just about the community? Because some people will say, well, this is like, because right now you guys are more like, you know, you guys aren't like necessarily in every state,
Mhm.
right? So it's more like online. Do you find it more valuable to be online with this curriculum versus being in a public school and interacting with kids? Because a lot of times people say, oh, well, they still need like that interaction with other
Okay,
children.
let me say this. Social interaction in our program is superior to the social interaction they get at public school. And you can ask any of my parents. Social interaction in our online program for the children is healthier, more fun, more active, and superior than the social interaction that they get in public school. The one thing they do not lack in our program is social interaction. Let me start right there. Because number one, that's how they interact anyway. They're in school doing this. They ain't
On the
talking.
phone, they're on the phone, right? Yep.
They in the school doing this. That's how
Yeah.
they interact anyway.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
We're
Yep. Yep.
uncomfortable interacting online.
Right.
They're fine, right?
Uh-huh.
But with us, again, because of the culture, they're in an environment where they're policing each other. We don't deal with bullying at the Uhuru Academy. We prevent bullying because everybody comes in feeling special,
Mm.
right? And so as far as that's concerned, boom. But no, is public physical interaction still important? Yes. But two things can be true. It's not an either or thing. We need both. But what we primarily need, y'all, right, is a plan. See, those Jewish children go to those Jewish immersion schools because the Jewish community has a plan for them.
Mm.
Asian students come home from public school and they go into Asian immersion, Chinese immersion academies after school to be immersed in their cultures and stay connected to their culture because their community has a plan for them. Our
They
plan
do.
has to
Wait.
be just
I'm
as
sorry.
well.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
DJ.
Asians, when they leave at public school, they go into a Asian
Yeah.
school after that. What?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm
Wow,
not
I
saying
didn't know.
all, but yes, there are Asian communities where when the children come home, yes,
Yeah.
in Stop 6 in Fort Worth is a Buddhist temple in the middle of the hood, right?
Mm,
And they bring their children over there almost on a daily basis
yeah.
to do cultural work with their children.
What
Wow.
now the problem is now with the do you like after it's I mean because the kids like have to be there, but let's say somebody was running like an after school or whatever, right? Is it time constricted, like it has to be this time, that time? How does that go for the different time zones and all these different things? Because let's say if
Mhm.
somebody's in Cali, they're 3 hours behind,
Right.
so and this person, so it, you know, how does that go with all the different time
I tell
zones?
y'all, we start class every day at 9 a.m. I have students in Alaska who are 4 hours behind. I have students in California as well. California, their brother in class at 6 a.m. and happy to be there. Alaska, tell Indigo she can't come to school at 5 in the morning. She's there. The trade-off is the one in California get out of school at 1 o'clock and the one in Alaska get out at noon. They got the rest of their day.
Wow, you know what? And you know all their names. That's beautiful. That's the beautiful part of it. Is
Yeah.
you still recognize all of your students.
Tell that baby she can't come to her school and this is her third year.
Mm.
And this is her third year.
She wakes up ready to go to school.
Get there before
Wow.
9. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But as you grow, are y'all going to be trying to put in especially depending on
Right.
where you live.
Right.
Some
Yes.
of
As
the
we grow,
connect, some of
yes,
the connect kids they
yes,
would not be able to
yes,
make it
yes.
until
As we
after,
grow,
right?
we'll bring
Mm-hmm.
in more instructors. We'll be able to start because we're going to always have a live experience, right? And that's one big thing about our program. We're developing, like with uhuruacademy.org, our new site. We're actually developing a course builder on the site. So we're going to start having courses parked on our site. Right now, in order to take an Uhuru Academy class, you got to enroll in Uhuru Academy online, and you got to get the links after you enroll. We're about to curate our whole school and actually be an online school. We're converting our website into a school, right? And that's going to help augment those who need to come in at a later time. Maybe they can take the early classes pre-recorded, then come in live at a decent hour. Or as we grow and we get more instructors, our California team can start at 9 o'clock California time and work with California students, right? But right now, our children in Ghana, for example, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon when they start.
Right. That's why I said all the different time zones. Right.
Yes. Yes.
And
Now,
hold on, Mighty Hebrew, are you still in the audience? Mighty Hebrew is he's actually a Hebrew Israelite from Dimona. And he has an actual he's connected with that community out there. So we might even maybe have a channel to like connect you in with them with that academy with the STEM programs. So I hope that he's still in the audience.
Beautiful,
but yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, so he was in the audience. So
okay, cool.
Tell
So
him where
yes,
he
as
at.
we grow, we'll
Come,
be able to do
show
that.
Mighty Hebrew. Show up. Come on. Where you at, Mighty Hebrew?
We have a beautiful Hebrew Israelite family out of Chicago in our online program. I want to shout out to the Israels. They actually have 4 children in our school right now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, shout out to the Israel family.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get him to come because you know
Ashe.
what? I think
Yeah.
that I'm gonna invite him to come up. Hold on.
Please. Come out wherever you are. No, because I deal with a lot of kids with no direction. Like I said, afterwards, me and you gonna deal. I got I done birthed without coming out of me like over 900 kids, right? I'm like you. Once they my kids, they my kids.
I say.
But I see that they don't know what's coming, right? They thinking the world is going to stay the same, right? They don't know what's coming. They don't know what's going to hit them, right? They don't know they're going to need these tools. They don't know they're going to have to be entrepreneurs. They don't know a lot of these jobs you think you're going to school for is going to be taken, right? And we need to show them all different directions. So my job is to bring it to them, right? So hopefully I could bring. We'll talk. I could bring you to them, and hopefully, I could set up something to whereas, I could maybe get some. I'll talk to you about that. She'll give you my number or something. Because
listen, give them your contact information. Here's another thing: is what are you
doing
offline? Right. What is your idea about AI?
Yeah, I was going to ask
what
that.
What are your thoughts about AI? What do you
Okay.
think about it? Because it's a double-edged sword that's going on here.
Right.
How do we teach our kids to like not become a victim of it? I mean, you know what? Dr. Clark Anderson said that we will be a permanent underclass by the year 2012, and 2012 is hit. And I don't know whether he like just had the dates like had 12 years behind, and now it's on 2024, and now we're seeing what he's saying coming up.
Right.
But then with the immigrants coming in, but now it's a combination of immigrants coming in and also AI coming in that is going to pretty much bankrupt us as a people. How do we?
Oh, the money gone already.
What do we do? I mean, do we leave America? What do we do?
The money's gone already, DJ.
Still viable.
I try not to get distracted in the sense that I think that immigrants aren't taking nothing from us. AI is not taking nothing from us. We're depriving ourselves, right? And if we're not, if It's hard to plan to fight something if you're not first giving yourself all that you can give yourself. We neglect us on so many levels that is, how do we even get to deal with an outside threat when we're not even dealing with the inside threat? Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so when it comes to AI, my attitude towards is that it's a tool.
Right.
It's a technology that our children have the genius to master, innovate, and take to the next level if we believe in them and believe in us like that. Right? Yes, it can be weaponized against you. Everything can be weaponized against you, but it's here. So let's master it. Let's learn it. And yes, use it as a tool to write a better letter. Use it as a tool to write a better essay to get the scholarship. They doing it. I wish I would tell one of my seniors, don't write your essay, but don't you put it in AI. Man, please, you better write it and put it in there and tell it to improve it.
That's
Ain't
right.
nobody playing no games out here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody playing no game. They can detect it now. Yeah, and whatever they can detect is another software that can beat the detector.
Okay, somebody says, so what is our form of recourse, like as far as AI? What should we do to adapt to it? Do you think it's taking jobs where we could? Okay, you already probably explained that, but you could just talk about the first half of it.
We live in a capitalist society. And if the rich 1% could make all their money and not have to pay anybody anything, they will. And if AI will make them capable of doing that, they'll use that. So I think that we have to educate ourselves, you know what I'm saying, not only on the industry trends and where, because it's not happening universally. There are still certain jobs and certain things that only humans can do. So we need to, instead of reacting emotionally, we need to look back and say, well, which industries are worried about it? We just had the longshoremen go on strike. And one of the things that they were striking against was too much automation, right? Well, that industry is actually years away from being able to replace those human beings. And that's why the longshoremen ended up getting what they wanted, right? So we got to see, we have to teach, where is that industry going to be in the next 10 years? If it's going away, then we need to go away from that industry. Or maybe that industry is just leaving where you are. Where is it still viable? We have to think globally, right? I'm weary when people start talking about, immigrant this and it's just us in America. Man, you better be thinking outside of America. You don't want people to come over here, but you may be looking up needing to go somewhere else one day. Be careful how you treat your guests, because you might be a guest one day in their house.
Yeah.
Learn skills that'll take you all over the world. We raise our children we teach our students to be global citizens. You're not coming to the Uhuru Academy just so you can get a job in the United States. You're coming to the Uhuru Academy so you can go work anywhere on this planet. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid that say this is the best place in the world. If you ain't been to every place in the world, you don't know that. And it might not be the best place in the world for you. We have to become global citizens. We have to stop letting the boogeyman scare us out of investigating things. Quit saying, ooh, them stars is pretty, and get a telescope and see which star is pretty. Why is the star pretty? Where that star gonna be in 3 months in reference to where you standing right now? Ooh, the ocean deep. How deep? Let's raise some marine biologists and go tell us how deep the ocean is.
You know what? Somebody said that, we talk about like everything, but we ain't actually made a car yet. Why haven't we made a car? Why haven't we
do have they are in the continent, on the continent. I know in Ghana they were manufacturing
us. We never just said, now I might see a genius here and there that might come up with like some new way of like making gas out of like petroleum on TikTok. But I'm saying we still haven't built our own car yet. Like, why haven't we done that?
But you know, there were some brothers in the early days of the car that helped invent the automobile. That actually had an automobile company in the early days, and Henry Ford forced them out. Right. A lot of things have to do with not just the ingenuity and the know-how, because we have that, but getting into certain industries is tough, especially distribution. That's why Diddy in jail. He was trying to get his own liquor, and he didn't want to pretend like he owned Ciroc no more. So they opened up the file on him. You know,
So
a
that
lot of
whole
entertainers, the Jews that they partner with, Russell Simmons said it. The Jews that they partner with say y'all can get into every aspect of the business except distribution. Right. And so
you think they literally said that listen, we gonna give y'all the money and let y'all be the mouthpiece of it and promote it.
Yeah.
But when you try to get into distribution, we're gonna destroy you.
Yeah. They put Kanye on pills. Adidas tried to drive him crazy because he was trying to get in the wrong room. He was trying to sit at the wrong table.
I remember when he was up there with Shay. With what's that dude from MTV?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "You don't know everything, Shay, or whatever his name was."
Yeah.
And he didn't understand. Yeah. I guess he forgot what the pact was, whatever.
Right.
But
whatever
he signed.
When you want to be a part of their industry instead of building the industry yourself. See, there's a freedom that comes. You can be $1 billion slave or a millionaire that's free, or a thousandaire that has peace of mind. Right. And you just got to choose that. Right. So the devil will come and offer you a trinket and say, hey, man, you can live it up here, but you got to play the game this way that plays into our agenda. You be the face. So we don't look racist, all that. You be right there. But if you buck, we'll destroy you. But what they're doing is they're saying, we see your genius. We want to exploit it. We don't want you to go and build on that genius for yourself. Because if you do that, we can't compete with you on any level.
And that's why I was really trying to get the Mighty Hebrew to come up, because, we have the Israelites, but then we have the Jews, right? And I think we need to differentiate the Israelites from the Jews, right? So when it really comes down to it, that society has a hold on things, has a control over certain stuff. And so I wanted to really kind of not get into it in a derogatory manner, but just to actually just explain that there's a stronghold, a chokehold, that when we would go to them for our money, and they're able to fund us, it's almost like another shackle being put on us. So you might be a great whatever, but then they'll say, okay, we'll fund you, but you can't go too far. Once you get about 30 million, don't go past that number. If you do, I'm going to. That's it.
But that's business.
Try to go past that.
Yeah, that's business. And if it's a lot of people cool with that. Me personally, if I was playing that game, I wouldn't buck the system. If I'm playing that game, I'm gonna be the best. If I'm gonna be the face and the man out tap dancing, I'm gonna be the best tap dancer you ever seen.
Why do you think that people do you think they didn't realize what they signed? Why did they? Do you think that at some point they forgot that when they told them, hey,
I think that the illusion of inclusion is real, and I think that people forget, and you can get so caught up in the power or perceived power that you have, and you don't think no one else is more powerful. Or you don't think they're going to actually squeeze the trigger. And when they do, you're not prepared for it. And then you look back and you look at your community and you see how easily black celebrities or whatever can be shamed today. I remember back in the 90s, we stood up for OJ, even though we was mad at it.
Right. And now everybody's against P. Now, I'm not going to say whatever he's doing. I don't know what happened, but they said
y'all, in the 90s, even if you thought OJ did it, if you was black, you didn't say it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say it. And OJ wasn't even messing with the black community like that until it happened.
We had some sense of solidarity.
No. But now they yep, they all going down. They going down. And and it
And
is
you
what
have
it is.
their own black people coming in, getting online.
But
chiming in.
yeah, but they earn that in a way too. You know, you kind of earn that disdain from the community in a way too. The have-nots generally don't like the haves. And the wider that gap get, the more resentment that's there. It's hard to look at somebody with a mansion and 20 cars and you looking at your driveway thinking the tow truck finna come get your car.
And they dancing around. Want to be
And
ballers.
they dancing around.
Got
And they thinking that's supposed to be an inspiration to us.
Right. I mean, they boom, 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 boom.
Right. You know, and so it's hard when you got 20 women and they all in the party. And yeah, we getting on. Everybody not happy for you. That make a lot of people mad. Everybody not happy.
Years of them throwing up in our face how rich they were.
Yeah, that ain't. We ain't looking at that like, oh, look at all that black excellence. No, we looking like, man, he could have bought everybody in the projects a car. That's what we saying.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's what we saying for real. Man, he could have did something with that. Man, he could have did this with all of that. What do you need to go to space for?
So
what do you need to do that for?
So what do you think about Oprah opening up the school in like Africa? Why? Well, do you think that's like? What do you think about that?
I think it's an easier play than to have to come out and say I want to help black children in America. Because you say you want to help black children in America and you're Oprah, then you're going to be labeled as militant. You're going to be labeled as racist. You're going to be labeled as you're going to catch a whole lot of labels that the people who allow you to have access to your money don't like.
Right. So because they made the African look like in the arms of the angel.
And you can go to Africa and open up a school with a white Jesus on the wall and keep the whole colonial system in place and nobody's really batting an eye. Because when you see some of the school books that they study out of in many African countries, you'll understand why some of them look at us and don't like us. They're taught anti-blackness just like we are.
So what do you think about the FBA movement with Tariq Nasheed?
I think any movement of black people that's going to build something constructive for black people is good. Do I necessarily agree with the approach and all that? Not necessarily, but I don't think I'm his target audience. You know what I'm saying? And as far as us establishing an identity as black people from America, I'm with that. Staking a claim for reparations based on our exclusive experience or exclusive experience of our ancestors, I'm with that. But is that also linked to a global movement? It already is. Nobody, you can say it's not, but it's too late. It already is. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm cool with that. But as far as building relationships with other black people from other places, I still feel like that's an advantage, not a disadvantage.
Here's one last question before I actually have you talk to Mighty Hebrew.
What's up?
Do you feel that Pan-Africanism is dead?
Nope. That's easy. That's an easy answer. You can do a catchphrase as long as there are Pan-African organizations working with each other. Just because it's not popping on Twitter don't mean it's dead. Just because it's not popping on social media don't mean it's dead. Most work is done in the dark, not in the light. I revealed a lot of stuff we doing at Uhuru Academy on here tonight. You wouldn't know if I ain't tell you.
Right.
Because I ain't got time to post it.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are, if you don't see it, work is being done, not the opposite. If you see too much of it, work really ain't being done. Because when you're doing work, you ain't got time to tell everybody every day. We gonna stream every day. You got work to do. Right. So now Pan-Africanism is absolutely not dead. No, it's not.
All right. Mighty Hebrew. Mighty Hebrew is here. I know I wanted you to talk to him because he's in touch with Demona. He's in Tanzania, Africa, and he's doing a little Tanzania. Is that how you say it? Tanzania.
Well, potato. You know it is.
Tanzania. I sound like
Tanzania.
Hey, how's it going? Mighty Hebrew, how are you doing?
I'm good. Shalom alaikum to everybody.
Shalom alaikum.
Shay, forgive me, y'all. I'm just recovering at a slight asthma attack and recovering. So I had to step out real quick. This is a little after 5 a.m. What the elder was saying is absolutely correct. You know, it is an advantage when you globalize yourself. Um, we can bear witness to that with our community on Israel. And what we did was we created satellite communities throughout Africa. And we could see the advantages of being in Ghana. I'm the head prince over here in Tanzania, the jurisdiction over here. We're all over Africa, Ivory Coast, you name it, we're there. But one of the things that stuck out that I 100% agree with, it sounds like it's an echo. If y'all can,
You sound
it sound
good
like
on
an
my
echo.
end.
Okay, good, Baba. Um, One of the things that I have to totally agree with is when he was making the statement that the said Jewish people, they have yeshivas, and then even with Asian communities, when they go to their local public schools, they come out of them local public schools and they teach their own children. And that was one of the objective goals when we created the Kingdom School of Holiness in 1970 in Damona, Israel, Northeastern Africa. And then from there, we created the Akbar Brotherhood School in 1993 because self-education or dedication is 100% accurate. And those that don't teach you right, they're definitely not going to treat you right. So it's definitely imperative that we dedicate, I'm speaking Hebraically, but to the listening audience, educate our children. Look at what's going on right now in Baltimore, Maryland. They're talking about 95% of the students right now amongst foundational Black Americans or African Americans are at its lowest point right now. And I know that the Baba, he can also add to this. And it's because those that are educating us, their advantage is to keep us in a deplorable state. The objective of the educational system in the United States was never designed for us to ever become a self-governing, autonomous community. We have to now take our destiny into our own hands. And that was one of the objectives that the late Ben Ami, my late grandfather, Prince Asiel, and others did. Our objective was to take our destiny into our own hands. Me moving over here into Tanzania and not having an idea what I was getting into 3 years ago, but to make that move, I had to connect myself. If I'm saying that these Hebrews are from Africa, I had to connect myself back to the continent and touch this soil, even though I've been back and forth several times before I left, but to actually repatriate, that's a whole nother different ballgame. So everything that the elder's been saying on here tonight is true. And one more thing he said, those that are doing the work, you really don't see their achievements on social media. This is the thing, even when I was speaking to Sister Genesis Detroit about the community that I'm a part of in Damona, they don't really talk about that community. And I know Baba, he knows about the community. Most people know about our community in Damona that's into this way of life of knowledge of self, but you don't see the achievements that we're doing, the interconnections that we have with different African countries and heads of state, going into different African countries, building rice mills, digging wells, and just different things that we're doing that you're not going to hear about in the general public, because those that's doing the work, you're not going to hear about them. But those that's just strictly social media content, you'll hear everything about them. But those that's putting in that work, you're not going to hear about that. So again, and I keep saying one more thing, but the elder was saying so much, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to cover as much as I can very quickly. Pan-Africanism isn't dead. If you understand, a lot of the African nations, that won their independence and created their constitutions. A lot of their constitutions over here are built on the Pan-African influence. Let me give you a prime example. When you go into Tanzania, give a shout out to the late President Julius, who in 1961 established Kiswahili as the official language. And when you look at the Constitution of Tanzania, a lot of people don't know it was actually put together by a Caribbean man. And you can see the Pan-African influences all throughout the Constitution of Tanzania. So for people to say that just bluntly Pan-Africanism is dead, that's not true. When you understand the social construct of the different African nations in Africa who built upon the Pan-African idea, even in the African American community, we may not want to admit it, we have Pan-African influences in our communities. Even if we bluntly say it or not, you know what I mean? We were influenced by your Denmark VCs, your Marcus Messiah Garveys, Arnold Josiah Fords, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
Arturo
we got to
Schomburg.
get absolutely, elder. So I'm gonna pass it back to the elder because this is the elder show. I definitely appreciate you coming, dropping jewels, and we need more elders to come into our midst because in the scripture it tells us in Deuteronomy 32, verse 7 and 8, to seek the elders that they may tell us. So we need to continue to have elders come into our midst. Thank you, elder.
I say, give thanks, brother. Give thanks, and thank you for
thank you for coming, my brother. Thank you for coming, my brother.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, we got a link, right?
Definitely got to link together because you know the work that he's doing in Demona and throughout Africa. I believe that could be a very powerful combination. So
absolutely,
I at least wanted to connect the dots right here. So
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. You know, and I mean,
so I'm going to connect you guys as soon as I can. Also, I wanted to also talk about the work that the Hebrew Israelites are doing. Again, the revolution will not be televised, right? Was that what they said?
I say.
And so I'm televising it because I'm like, you know what? People need to know about the things that people are doing. And as you can see, I've been promoting Demona because I'm like, you know what? I mean, when I see Pan-Africanism at its best, I'm seeing it being done in Demona. I'm seeing people going over, Israel is in Africa, by the way, guys.
Right.
You know, it's in Africa. So,
right. Absolutely. It's just a man-made canal separating.
Right. And
that's
also,
right.
You talked about you have a few Hebrew Israelite students and things like that.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So that's a beautiful thing. So
yeah. Shout out to the to the Israels, man. HOR Consulting, great beautiful family. You know, our approach at the Uhuru Academy, we call ourselves African Center Universalists. You know what I'm saying? And it's open. You know, whether you're Pan-African, whether you practice, we have students that practice E5. Students that practice Christianity. I mean, no white Jesus is allowed, but you know, Islam. You know what I'm saying? As long as is centered towards us and we're taking ownership, let's go. And we want to teach our children how to be unified now so they won't struggle with it like we do as adults. So we honor the belief system at home inside of our school. And then we say, hey, get prayed up, do your ritual at home. When you get to school, first thing we're going to do, we're going to honor our ancestors together. We have that in common.
I wanted to also talk about people traveling. We need to and that's why I brought the Mighty Hebrew here is you know what? Right. He took that trip. He wasn't afraid to take that trip. And you can't be afraid. There's brothers and sisters overseas. We need to start connecting with each other. I don't know how to do it, but we need to start connecting with our brothers and sisters overseas and start to travel and get out of America and not feel like this is our only chance, our only option.
You are right. You're 100% correct. And we have to think globally. I want to shout out to one of my elders, my Jagnas, Dr. Abdullah Adesanya, African Senate educator for over 40 years, 72 years wise, discovered that he had Liberia in his blood, and he has repatriated to Liberia. He established a cassava farm over there. He's back and forth. So, and over here, we're building a cassava farm, a small cassava plot here at the school, and we're building a cassava processing factory, a small processing factory here to make cassava flour, experimenting with how we can do it here and then transplant that technology over there, And so yes, I don't have a problem being a foundational Black American, but that ain't gonna, nothing's gonna stop me from loving my people abroad and loving the diaspora. Nothing.
So, do you ever plan on moving to the? Go ahead,
Yes.
go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when you were saying, DJ, Genesis, we need to connect. I think the connection is actually happening. A lot of us are actually using social media for what we need to use it for, and that's to connect with people abroad. Because remember, at one time we wasn't connecting the way when our founding fathers and mothers left the confines of North America in 1967 to reestablish this kingdom of Yahweh. We would just go about word of mouth and boots on the ground.
Right.
Whereas though now, with a click of a button, we can just connect with everybody all over the world at will. And I think this is the advantage that those of like minds understanding themselves as God in the flesh, we can take this understanding and start to connect with this community, that community, this community, doing fundraisers like when he was speaking about building farms over in Dimona. We have what is called the dripping system, whereas we're producing 4 times more crop than the average person that's sharecropping. And it's very important to continue what the elders did before us, and that is self-autonomy. And I keep saying that over and over and over and over, that even before the late John McAfee, may he rest in completeness in the Ozuletic world of existence and pure will, he said, plan, because we're moving in a time, and y'all see what's going on in the United States and all over the world. We're moving in a time where self-governing is going to be necessary. It's going to be necessary. So there's no escape. So all those that came before us, that spoke about self-government, now the reality is at hand. So and I must agree with the elder. We have to now approach this situation with our lenses. If we're going to deal with any of these schools of thought, it has to center around us. No matter what because originally it came from us. So in that retrospect, put things back in its original social order and build. Make sure, Sister DJ Genesis, you get the eldest number for me, because we can connect and start that process immediately. And when he's ready to take that trip, he can stay in the guest house for free as a guest of honor. And we can climb the Mount Kilimanjaro together.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Our ancestors. So absolutely make that happen, DJ Genesis. See how you just connected that quick?
Hey, they call me the connector. That's what I do, connect. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm connecting people that really is gonna make a difference. And one thing I do want to also say is that we have to learn how to self-farm, because now that these natural disasters are hitting us, now even brother Baba Amin has withstood a hurricane. But I mean, right now we have brothers and sisters right now that are being affected by a category 5 or 6 hurricane in Florida, and that it is going to level stuff. And the more and more they begin to cloud seed and do kind of weird stuff with the environment over here, it's going to cause more natural disasters. And we're going to have to know how to farm and eat, because the grocery stores are not going to be able to feed us. We have people like right now that are on strike. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
there's no people like delivering food to the grocery stores. How are you gonna eat now?
Right.
Let's talk
Right.
about that, Baba. I mean, what's your thoughts about that? Also, too, and I want to get you, Mighty Hebrew, to chime in on that real quick.
We have to get back to the land. And we have to put that into the education as well at UASC, Uhuru County, South Carolina, UASC International here in Columbia. Our children farm. My 3 youngest babies attend UASC, and they know how to plant food, and they know the nutrients that are in the food. They know when to plant certain plants. They know how to take it from the farm into the plate. That's a part of the science curriculum. And there's land out here. I run into so many Black people who have family land that they don't want, that's not being used. There needs to be a reverse migration. There's a lot of land down here in the South, and we own a lot of it, but a lot of us don't want it. We're renting it out to other folks, that sort of thing, man. And so self-sufficiency is key. Whether you're in a doomsday scenario or not, you should want to be self-sufficient. It's not an emergency contingency. It's just a thriving life contingency. That's the good life. That's not the emergency life. That's the good life. Growing your own food is the good life. Having your own land is the good life. Being able to be on the grid or off the grid, that's the good life. That's not the emergency life. I think part of it is how we define things. And looking at like, oh, everything's gonna shut down. We better farm. Well, I don't want to farm if that's bad news. Everything gonna shut down. No, it's hey man, you know what? Farming and growing our own food, that's the key to getting our health back on track. That's the key to us increasing our average lifespan. That's the key to us connecting with others. Man, you save a lot of money when you grow your own food. So if we center the conversation around the pluses, instead of treating these things as if they're emergency contingencies, I think that we'll see a shift.
Can I just say one thing? And don't forget, you have to learn. You can also learn how to plant in the concrete jungle, right? Because you have a lot of people who do not. There are ways that they got people in their apartments that know how to have the pots. You could do it inside of an apartment too, long as you have the right light. Because some people don't live in land, some people live in the city or whatever. That doesn't stop you from learning how to plant your food, right? You can find a space in your house, put it by the windows, have certain pots. You may not can have a big thing, but you can still do something and grow your own stuff. So we got to remember the people that live in the concrete, right? So, but I have seen it done. I have seen it done in people, even if it's just a tomato here or this there or this, that's a start, and it can be done.
Yes, urban farming. We need to turn these urban centers, into farms, and again, growing. Let food be thy medicine. Let medicine be thy food.
All right, Hebrew, you have something to say, Mighty Hebrew?
Yeah, I mean, the elder and the sister, they said it all. When you plant from which the source you came from, what happens is there's a flora and fauna relationship, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Like we here amongst the kingdom of Yah, we believe and I'm using the word belief on purpose, for the naysayers, so to say. We believe that when you in tune yourself with the ground or with the earth's surface, what happens when you grow these fruits and vegetables to sustain your life, we acknowledge that there is a power force within each fruit, within each vegetable. When you're in communication with that, it releases that energy to start the process or become a healing mechanism for different organs of the body. This is why we eat according to the season that fruits and vegetables grow in. Many people, they just eat, they eat, not understanding that to be more in tune, we eat according to the season, different fruits and vegetables grow. Like, let's say,
Right.
for instance, if Baba has let's say if he have a the kidney problem, we heard back in the day the doctor say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. We heard these old cliches, and that's how we looked at it, but not understanding that different fruits and vegetables help certain organs of the body.
Right.
So if you're in tune with the earth and and mentally, physically, psychologically, environmentally, them fruits and vegetables is going to release a power energy. You know what I mean? But if you're not in tune, it's going to hold back. Why you think you can be a vegan? You can still die at 35 years old.
Right.
You can be a vegan today if your mind isn't in tune with the earth. This is why they took us away from down south, because many of us
Thank
down
you.
south
Thank
is
you.
in tune with
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, with the earth. This is why we got to create bridges. We have to repatriate first down south, and then from there, we connect with brothers and sisters that repatriated back to Africa. Because the reality is, this whole planet is ours. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take it a step further. The
Tell it.
whole
Tell it.
multiverse is ours.
Tell it.
How about that? The whole multiverse is ours. So, in that, and that's not to say we don't have demarcation stations. That's all fine and well. But at the end of the day, we have to eat from the source that we came from. And one more thing, Ben Ami said it clear in one of his lectures before he made transition. He said, we look at the cow. The cow eats from the earth.
Right.
And you see cow healthy, we see elephant, they all eat from the earth. But then we turn around and eat the cow and say that we have the best diet. Verse, why don't we eat from which we came? This is why they cut us off from the land. And when you're talking about they have a language, we know that language is vibrational. So imagine if we went back to the essence of our language and we start talking to the fruits and vegetables that, remember, what was his name? George Washington Carver. And they said he was crazy because he would talk to plants. But we know for a fact that plants have response signals. We know that plants can be happy. They can be sad. If you notice, people that live around plants, they are more happy. They are more vibrant.
Right.
You see? So we have to return back to the substance from which we came from. Yahai.
I say.
And we also have to teach them what real vegetables and plants are, right? Do you know how many people never seen a real banana? Because banana is supposed to have seeds in it, right? So
yeah, the bananas over here. Yep.
Right. A lot of people never seen, they think this is a real banana. And then they have to learn, like they tell you like cauliflower is not good. Like we have to understand what is real fruits and vegetables and what has been modified, right? Because we hear all these different these new apples. There's no such thing as new apples. There's no such thing as new this. There's no
Man, don't get on my little oranges. Man, they got them new oranges that peel off so nice and don't got no seeds in them.
Right.
They call them something, but it's like these little oranges.
Even a pineapple. How many
don't be saying nothing about them cuties. I love it.
Yeah, but that's even like pineapples, right? That is a hybrid vegetable that comes from berries. Like And then even people who have, I tell people it's important because if you have allergic reactions to stuff, and sometimes you eating things because you don't know it's hybrid, and you wondering why you're sick, right? Because you don't know what two recipes or whatever that they put together to make that other recipe, right? So that's very, very important.
I say, y'all. Again, education. Education is
Man,
the key.
listen, this has
We're learning it now, but imagine teaching our children in pre-K
Yeah.
and making it a consistent part of their education throughout their education journey. And that's our goal at the Uhuru Academy. I have to go, but I do want to give drop my contact information for anybody that wants to reach out to the Uhuru Academy. You can give us a call, 682-233-5054. That's 682-233-5054. You can email us at info@uhuruacademy.com or visit us at uhuruacademy.com or uhuruacademy.org. I'm about to merge the two. The .org is the new site. But visit our website, uhuruacademy.com, and get at me. Let's talk.
We definitely would.
Yes.
We definitely would. 'Cause the kids
well, I was
need
about to
it.
close it out anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I really, really appreciate you for
Thank you.
taking your time to come here today to talk to us, to educate us, and to better our people. I really appreciate it, and I thank you.
It's an
And
honor.
the same for you too, my brother.
Shay.
Hebrew.
So I want to get what we always do is last words. So let's
Mhm.
start with Mighty Hebrew, then go to you, Uhuru Academy.
I said mine already.
And so Mighty Hebrew, last words.
The last word is this for the day. Remember to consult with the elders. And y'all know I'm very big on that. And one of the things that this system has used in our demise is to separate the youth from the elders. The elders have wisdom. When you go to any nation, you never see the Shaolin monk disrespecting the abbot. You never see that. You never see other nations in such magnitude of disrespect when it comes to the elders. We have to now return back to that principle. Over here in Africa, there is a high reverence for the elders. So I just want the family to understand that when this elder came tonight, he was bringing the Ancient of Days to us. When you read throughout the scriptures about the Ancient of Days or any sacred texts about the Ancient One or those that came before us, this is the wisdom that the elder is embodying. Remember, even this elder gave accolade to his elder. So this is how we keep this information alive from generation to generation. Again, I want to thank you, elder, for coming on this show, giving us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and your experience, and giving us the will so now we can embody and keep you in remembrance from now to infinity. Thank you, elders. Shalom aleichem.
Ashe. All right.
I want to first thank the creator for the opportunity, the ancestors as well. Anytime we get the opportunity to share, to teach, to learn is a blessing in this life. DJ Genesis, I want to thank you. We've known each other for years, and it's great to reconnect, and I'm honored to be here, and I applaud your platform. Keep doing Sugar Loves, honor meeting you as well. I look forward to connecting and linking up. If you don't know what was, you don't know what is. If you don't know what is, you're not prepared for what's to come. So wise people study history. I want to encourage everybody out there to keep studying, to keep thinking, hug your children, embrace them, Tell them that they're great. Education is meant to pull out the greatness that is already there. Let's get out here and fight for the minds and hearts of our people and our children together. With that, I got to go. I got to get some rest because I got to get up in the morning and do it all over again.
Hold on.
Thank
Hold
you.
on.
Thank you.
I gotta say one last word.
Yes.
DJ, take us out of here.
Not just yet. Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before I take us out of here, we're gonna promote that. Listen, coming up on Friday, we have Azrael Ben Israel, the national spokesman of Demona, coming on Friday at he's gonna be there at about 5 o'clock because he's it's Israel, so he's actually coming. He's actually talking from Israel. Gonna be on the channel, so please come and support. And then I think next week we have Yakin or Yakin, I forget, Yakin Awakening or something like that. So we have him. So we have some really great shows coming up. So please support. And if you have not hit the like, please do that and go ahead, love and subscribe.
Okay, DJ, take us out of here.
Alchemize your energy, darling. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.